Hi everybody, it's Jim. I've discovered that I like recording outside. I mean, it's a beautiful day, it's nice and cool, it's not really hot. It's about 6:30 in the evening. It's just great to be outside. Behind me you can see my backyard. You could fit a whole nother house back there. Anyway, I've been thinking for the last couple weeks about random acts of kindness from strangers. Sometimes I wonder if I could be one of those strangers who performs these random acts of kindness. I mean, you take a big chance because you see somebody, for instance, broken down on the side of the road or on the side of the freeway. You don't know what their intentions are, what they could do to you. Or see somebody on the street. You just don't know. There's a lot of people in the city where the university that I currently attend is. It's a pretty urban city, and just about every day that I leave my apartment, somebody hits me up for change. One guy even wanted $20 because he said his car had run out of gas on the freeway. That's a pretty common story from people that are panhandling. Another guy asked me for $9 so he could get something to eat. At that time I didn't have $9 on me, but I did have a little over $2 in change, and a good 80% of it was pennies. So I hauled all of that out of my pocket. I had this big handful of change, and I said, "Here you go." He didn't like it, and he never asked me for change again. But I'm talking about some of these random acts that can make a big difference. There was a lady that I'm going to tell you about who made a big difference for me when she performed a random act of kindness. I mentioned earlier in another video that my mother died in December of 2007. It took me a long time to get my head wrapped around the fact that my mother was gone. That following May, it was May of 2008, I was in the cemetery standing next to her grave. The headstone hadn't even been set yet, so it was just this big bare patch of ground that I was standing next to. I must have looked pretty upset because this lady was walking by. A lot of people like to go walking in our local cemetery because there's no traffic and it's a pretty quiet place. So a lot of people walk there. This lady walked by. I'd never seen her before. And she stopped, and she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she asked me if it was my wife that was buried there, and I said no, it was my mother. Then she said something that sort of surprised me. She said, "You look like you need a hug." I must have been really stressing at that point in time. So I said, "Yeah." So she gave me this hug. And when she hugged me, it felt like everything was going to be okay. So, whoever you are, if you're out there, thank you. That really meant a lot to me. So sometimes it's worth taking that chance to help somebody out. It may not always work out all right, but I'm thinking that most of the time it will. And you never know just what you do for the person that you're helping out. So, stay safe when you're doing your random acts of kindness, but be that stranger. If you want, tell me in a comment or leave a video. Tell me when you were that stranger who performed a random act of kindness. Tell me how it worked out. Tell me if you were on the receiving end or somebody helped you. But until my next video, stay safe and peace. Bye.